Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope and happy Pride Month, y'all. I got a love reading for you. We have 3 beautiful piles for y'all to choose from, paintings by yours truly. Pile 1 will be the Rainbow Serpent, Pile 2 will be the Rainbow Spiderweb, and Pile 3 will be the Rainbow Hellbender Salamander. So take your time, meditate, choose with your intuition, and we will get into the messages. See you there. All right, pile 1, if y'all chose the Rainbow Serpent, this is your message. I'm flipping it over in real time. All right, we have the Page of Cups upright, and that is your only upright card. Then you have the Ten of Wands reversed, Four of Pentacles reversed, and the Five of Cups reversed. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the fact that I showed it off camera. Okay. And then for your runes, we have Soalo, we have Yera, and we have Hagalas. Okay. Hagalas makes a lot of sense with the theme of this message, because I am definitely feeling pain. I feel like you are just shooting your shot over and over and over and not getting the results that you desire, that you seek at this time. And it's a real shame because I see you can cultivate this positive energy, this optimism time and time again, and restart the cycle over and present your cup to somebody and try and initiate a relationship or a connection with somebody with and I'm getting this emphasis of no pressure, no expectations. I feel like you are somebody who has a surprising amount of emotional intelligence that just doesn't seem to be reflected in your actual life circumstance. So you'd assume if somebody, on a surface perspective, you would assume somebody with a lot of social, emotional intelligence would have a very widespread or fulfilled social life. But, it takes 2 people to have a relationship. So you can be operating as best as any person could be, and yet the people around you, your circumstance, your environment, the city or state that you live in is just not conducive to that. Your workplace, wherever it is, the watering hole. I don't know why I heard that. The watering hole is just, it's nothing's clicking. Nothing's clicking. And I feel like in general, I feel like you have this attitude of you don't want to be a burden to anyone, and you definitely don't want to just assume or take on the burdens of other people. I feel like this is a lesson that you learned in the past. Especially, I'm getting this message of financial burdens. So possibly in the past, you had taken on a lot of the financial burdens, and this doesn't even have to be specifically romantic, because you could have done this with friends as well. I don't know, I just get such a laid back vibe from you specifically. I feel like you're so chill and laid back and accommodating, and so to you it just doesn't make sense. You're like, why can't I find a group of chill people? Or why can't I just find one person? Why can't I just find one person who can reciprocate and doesn't have this? I mean, everybody has baggage, but I feel like the people you're coming in contact with just have an insane amount of baggage that they personally don't feel like sorting through, and they really wish to just put that load onto you. Or for some reason they have some kind of fantasy in their mind that a romantic partner is the one who's supposed to sort out. I'm thinking of this folk tale called The Skeleton Woman, which I personally love, but I'm getting it in a different way than I normally than I think the story is even really intended to be taken as or interpreted as such. But you know, it's about a man, a fisherman, which is very interesting, right? Little fish. It's about a fisherman, and he gets his hook caught on something and pulls it up, and it's a chest, like a treasure chest, and he's super excited, and he opens it up, and it's this decayed skeleton of a woman, and he is horrified, and he gets like entangled. His like fishing net or whatever fishing line gets entangled between him and this skeleton woman, and he's so horrified, and he's stuck to her, attached to her, and he runs all the way home, and obviously she's like following him. Then he realizes, oh, she's not just like this possessed demon thing chasing me. And essentially he takes the time to untangle and untwine himself and put her back together, and she slowly starts to regain her human form and flesh, and to reveal that she's actually a very beautiful woman. And the message of that is that part of being a woman is being beautiful and horrifying at the same time. You see this in archetypes of like Baba Yaga, where she represents visceral feminine horror, like just visceral horror, and things that are hidden and shadowy, and just these brutal initiations to overtake. You really may have a habit of attracting hopeless, scorpionic romantics who really over romanticize those shadowy, ugly, like skeleton woman aspects of themselves, and don't do anything to really help that partner, like in the case of this story, help that fisherman know what bones go where, or why, the why and the how of things, to really analyze yourself, to actually engage in that scorpionic intimacy of analyzing your soul and truly exposing that to somebody. So it's like your emotional capacity gets taken advantage of. And I think it's happened enough times to where you realize it's a pattern, it's a cycle, and you wish to put a stop to that because you have obtained enough, or you're in the process of obtaining enough wisdom and perspective to call it out and put a stop to this. You could be somebody who tends to take on a more masculine role in relationships, like a much more like I'm hearing like less neurotic, less emotional. Not saying that you obviously don't, like, I'm not saying you don't have that capacity, but I think you just tend to be a lot more even keeled and balanced in the way that you flow. And so that's why I think people who are a little bit more undisciplined in that regard are attracted to you, because you kind of, it's like they're out here in this ocean, like flailing and drowning and panicking, and you're this like buoy out in the ocean, and they just want to like cling on to you for balance and dear life. So Hagelas is hail, which is a very destructive, brutal form of precipitation. I'm hearing like when it rains, it pours. But in this case, when it rains, it freaking hails. Like, I'm just getting like people who are addicted to being depressed, addicted to their grief. And it's like no matter how much like resources or energy you put into trying to create some sort of stability or a sense of security or reassurance, like these people are just not going for it, not taking it, not absorbing it, and it could even cause this reaction within yourself, even for a person who is pretty even keel and emotionally stable. Your shadow aspects might manifest as you holding on to so much emotional energy that it just conglomerates into these big hard ice crystals like hail, and it just pelts the ground when it hits. So I guess I fully see and understand your situation here, and you're like, what do I do? What does spirit recommend? Like, so let me shuffle some more cards and we'll see, because I feel like you're trying really hard to manifest, like I said, like really trying to cultivate your optimism and a positive outlook. But it's like something about the environment that you're in. There's that. Wow. Wow. Okay. So I see this destined partnership, a balanced union. We have this death energy. So it's like Scorpio energy again. And then you have the lovers. See, when you really know yourself and you have these boundaries enough to really recognize this pattern in your romantic life, it sets you up for an almost inevitable success in the future, because you're always going to say no to the wrong thing. I find that when you meet this person that you are supposed to be with, somebody who's your equal, they are going to change you. Like, I feel like the previous dynamics in your relationship, this is kind of complicated because this is like a page, and I'm feeling that the page is talking about you. So a page really isn't a master of anything. But I think if somebody is so dysfunctional or truly has not stepped up to the plate to take the reins of their own emotional development, you are going to seem like a master to them. You're going to be placed into this nurturing parental type role, even though, it's like giving older siblings raising younger siblings. It's like that child shouldn't be in a parental role to this other child. Like their own internal parent should be parenting themselves. So you have space to be doing that for yourself. But it's almost this like parasitic dynamic where you are having your own internal parental energy taken away from you and being appropriated or used by your partner instead of having that energy reserve for yourself. So I think your big green flag, might be possibly a little bit of triggering or a little bit of just like out of your comfort zone energy around people who, or around the person who's meant for you, is that they're not going to be receptive to that parental energy. They're not going to need it. And if anything, they may have a little bit of extra to give to you, or at least to create the space for you. I just see so much balanced energy with this Four of Wands. There's going to be an absolutely beautiful amount of give and take. Y'all will really be able to stand strong with each other. And if anything, I'm almost getting like a bit of like power couple vibes, that y'all, once you, with your powers combined, right, you can provide for the community around you this advice, because you've actually finally given yourself space to really take the advice, or to experiment with your advice, to gain the experience that helps you develop such advice to share with other people. That's going to be your green flag, basically. Like, you're not going to feel, in a way, you're not going to feel as needed by your partner. And it's going to cause a really big change in the way you think about yourself, and you think about your energy, and you think about life. But also, I feel like, for some reason, I feel like this person could be a Scorpio, or could have significant Scorpio placements, like a Scorpio moon, or Mercury, or Venus, or Mars. I feel like in a lot of ways, y'all could be sort of like, not biological, but y'all could be like twins. You could be like really, really similar to this person. You might look very similar to this person, or even if y'all don't look similar at all, you can have like the exact sense of humor. You like the exact kind of same music. You read the exact same books. You listen to the exact same like lecturers or whatever. There's going to be like almost this sense like photocopy, and like maybe this person will have had this very similar cycle that you've lived through, where they felt like they had to parentify so it's sort of like two like moms of the friend group, or dads of the friend group, or whatever, end up dating each other, instead of always being in this dynamic of getting emotionally attached to people who just have been emotionally coddled and not able to deal with and unpack their burdens themselves. So this has been your love reading, guys. I hope it was useful for you. Please make sure you like the video and comment down below if this resonated, or if you have any suggestions or questions. I would be very happy to read them. And yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose the rainbow spider web, this is your message, your love reading. So, your runes coming out are Othala, Urus, and Gebo. Othala means inheritance. Urus means auroch or rain. Gebo means gift. We have the 8 of Wands upright coming out with the 3 of Cups upright. And then we have the Star card reversed. Especially having the Star card underneath Gebo, I just think that sometimes it can be bittersweet to understand that rejection or having something not work out can be a gift and a form of perfection. If you are veering off course, so to speak, in your destiny, you will be corrected. Your path will be corrected. You will go on a detour, and this is a manifestation of your spirit guides loving you and lovingly redirecting you. I can see that you in the past have it's like what you've been focusing your energy into has not truly been productive, or this isn't really the path that you're meant to reach the one. I feel like the decisions that you've been making have been aligning you with a lot of people who just aren't the one. This is definitely giving me like lots of dating apps, lots of hookups, lots of partying with people, and introducing to friends, and just these casual interactions, which might be nice. It might fill your cup up in one way or another, but it's just not something sustainable. It's not something that is restoring you, healing you, growing you, or introducing you to new energies. I'm feeling there's like hidden power. There are hidden gifts within you, ancestral abilities passed down that are not being tapped into fully, the way your spirit guides are aware that it is able to be done. And it's because you're focusing your energy, or like spreading out your energy. So I don't mean to sound like chastising or anything about dating around or sleeping around with like a whole bunch of people, but I just see, particularly for you, maybe the way that it was healing or exciting, or even the way that it was beneficial to somebody else, it's just not fitting for you. It's just not what your guides see as benefiting you right now. I see an emphasis of wanting to really focus up on quality over quantity, and that could come with swallowing a bit of a bitter pill of solitude. So I feel ready to flip over the 3 cards underneath. I only flipped over the first row. So the first card is the 5 of Swords reversed, and then we have the Hermit and the 6 of Cups. So, and the Hermit is reversed. So 5 of Swords reversed, and the Hermit reversed. And we have the 6 of Cups upright. So this is definitely energy relating to the past. And I don't know why, like, my attention keeps being drawn back to this Othala rune, especially after flipping over this 6 of Cups. Like, there's something from your past. There's something about what your ancestors lived through that is really, really relevant to you being on the right path to connect with a true soulmate, or even something about like past lives. I feel like maybe you have resisted moving into a hermit phase, moving into solitude. You could be like a chronic extrovert. Like, I've known a couple people, ironically, the 2 people that first come to mind, they were both Taurus. Like, that may or may not apply to you, but I find it an interesting coincidence where they could not stand to be alone. Ironically, one was the eldest of 4 children and the other was an only child, but both of them could not stand to be alone with themselves or alone with their own thoughts. This could be similar to what you're dealing with, where it just feels really uncomfortable, or possibly I'm even hearing the word like unproductive, to really sit with yourself and be with yourself. You may find that certain opportunities to connect or socialize with people are drying up, and I think your spirit guides are coming in here to warn you, to say, like, don't internalize this as there being something wrong with you, but that you're being, in a way, forced, or you're moving into this cosmic period of time where isolation and reflection is necessary, because I think you're going through an internal shift where your guides really, really, really want you to develop the relationship with your intuition and really being able to hear your spirit guides connecting with you and talking to you and whispering to you. And so if you're constantly going out and like drinking or just revelry with people or hookups, or I don't know, just like always going out, always being in the noise, you're going to kind of miss these quiet nudges that are redirecting you. For some reason, with this 5 of Swords card, I'm getting like FOMO pretty intensely, and I think that that's kind of an important aspect to look into. Like, this is your shadow work. I feel like the 5 of Swords reversed is referencing your shadow work, that you need to look into the part of yourself that experiences FOMO, that, I don't know, it feels a little bit random, but I heard like imposter syndrome as well. But either way, there's some amount of like mental discord that requires your attention. And when you're constantly going out and doing these things, or when you're sort of chasing these surface level interactions, it distracts you or something. Like, you could also be somebody who struggles a little bit with maybe like ADHD or ADD or something along those lines, even if you're not like officially diagnosed. And I'm not doing that because I'm not qualified to do that, and I don't want to do that. I'm just using that as a term, you know, people who struggle to be able to listen to their thoughts and feel out these thoughts and properly analyze, because I'm just feeling like analyzing the thoughts, there's some sort of skill set that has been neglected in favor of just releasing a lot of passionate energy. And I think as you are spending time reflecting on memories, I think there will start to be some puzzle pieces that click into place, and you're going to have a lot of realizations. And I just, for some reason, I feel called to shuffle the deck and pull like a couple more cards for you. I didn't do this for the other pile. What messages do you have for pile 2? Love messages do you have for pile 2? What about their love life do they need to know? We have the Queen of Cups upright, and then we have the Lovers reversed. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Swords upright. So I just feel, I feel like there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done. There's some honesty that needs to be done. It's shadow work, and it's something to do with old emotions, old emotional states that did not get the full attention and focus of your your wisdom, your intuition, your analytical power. And it's just, you're never going to be in the right vibration to attract somebody who's going to be a real worthy long-term investment. So, there is no timing that I could possibly give you about when you're going to meet this person, because it's like purely dependent on you doing this shadow work. You revisiting these old emotional states, these old interactions. FOMO, imposter syndrome, weird social competitive dynamics, I don't know, just all these memories that you'd rather just put out of your mind. There could be some sort of anxiety that if you focus on it too much, that you're just going to create more of it. But that's not actually how things work spiritually. The more you resolve something, the easier it is to, I'm hearing water bend it out the way, as it comes up. So these have been your messages, pile 2. I hope that they were useful for you. If they were, please leave me a like. It helps a lot. Comment down below if it resonated, or if you have any questions or suggestions, I would love to read them. Make sure y'all subscribe and share this reading to somebody if you think it would help them. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you chose the Hellbender Salamander painting, this is your reading. So this might be insignificant, but I just randomly was hearing Tweety Bird. So that might be something synchronistic for you. So the first card that came out was the Empress reverse, and we have the 7 of Cups, and we have the 6 of Cups coming out reversed. When I saw that Empress reverse, I just immediately was hearing she's not it. She is not it. And then having that 7 of Cups come out, that's illusion. And then we have the 6 of Cups reversed, which to me is clinging on to something nostalgic that just should be left in the past, or should be allowed to be in the past. But your runes, you have Wunyo, Othala, and Agis. What that feels like to me is you deserve joy. You deserve joy. And I think also that you have a special gift of, it's like a gift that I see residing in your crown. I think you have the ability to effortlessly embody a lot of your higher aspects. And I think, there's just something in your aura that people can sense and feel, and you yourself might not even be so directly aware of this, but other people can see it, other people can sense it. And I'm feeling especially narcissistic type personalities can see it. They can see there's some kind of golden halo around you, and they want proximity. They want even power over you in such a way, to dominate that, to, maybe that's why I heard Tweety Bird, Tweety Bird in a cage. They just want to cage you up. Tweety Bird is so cute and sweet and innocent and yellow and happy, right? That makes me think of joy. You have the joy rune. But then we have this yellow Empress coming out reversed. So it just feels like somebody who pretends like they are nurturing, but they're actually giving you poison apples. They're actually giving you advice that they hope will sabotage you, or really underhanded type behavior. Like this person definitely, I feel like, is an emotional manipulator. They like to pretend like they are helping you connect to higher powers or connect to higher paths or destiny, but they're really just sending you on this goose chase, like chasing the Holy Grail, and it's just not it's not a not replica. It's not a relic to be found. You're just King Arthur over here spinning your wheels and chasing, like, because that's what I'm feeling like. Usually with nostalgia, there was actually something really nice and warm and fuzzy in the past that you just want to relive over and over and over. But for whatever reason, I feel like this person, when you're in abusive relationships, you have like so-called honeymoon phases, but this person is like, it wasn't even real. It's like somehow as time moves on and you look back on things, like you tend to romanticize, or maybe even this person has a way of speaking about memories, shared events together as like nostalgic. But when you really, really think about it clearly, like it wasn't really a good time. It wasn't a good time. It wasn't something warm and fuzzy at all. And it could just be that like the current moments around this person are so stressful or so intense that even something super mid in the past can seem grand or warm and fuzzy. And for whatever reason, like, I feel like this person wants to attack your crown, your ability to just receive downloads from spirit and know where to go and know what to do. And I'm just really getting this emphasis on a very like effortless, natural capacity to embody your higher self and your higher wisdom. Like it's just so effortless for you to be to give and share, or even stoke the qualities of other people's higher selves out of them. Like you can just draw that out of them. So I feel like even though this person is an Empress reverse, when they're around you, maybe they look like an upright Empress, but that's like 100% just because of your energy. And it's really does not originate in this person. This person needs you for that. So it could distort your view of this person, thinking that they are on your level when truly they are not. Okay, so I just flipped over your bottom row of cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles upright, then we have the Queen of Swords reversed, and the King of Swords reversed. So I don't know, like my first thought is thinking like toxic polycule. So maybe you're in some sort of polyamorous dynamic, and for whatever reason, it seems like you are the only person coming out in the upright. Like, and possibly I feel like especially feminine and masculine energy could be sort of a toxic match, like a perfect pair. I see a lot of undermining, a lot of conspiring, a lot of gossip, a lot of, I'm hearing undercutting, especially like with these swords. I'm seeing like people who want to cut you down to size. So like even if you're coming out as this Queen of Pentacles, I feel like in all honesty, you're probably closer to the energy of the Empress, like a fully realized feminine force who embodies all aspects of the suits: pentacles, swords, wands, cups. So emotional, spiritual, intellectual, and material, wisdom, abundance, nurturing. Like, it's all a lot of crown, right? So we have the one crown upright, and then all these other people have their crown reversed. Like, somehow your natural ability to receive downloads and wisdom and just naturally embody this force coming through your crown, it's like somehow maybe you are taking on like a psychic burden of these other people. And of course, when you're intimate with somebody, you're like really sharing your energy with them. It's sort of like you could think of your chakra system as like a circuit, and you're like connecting. It's like a series circuit connecting together. And all in all, I just feel like whatever history you have with these people, and it could be like you were a more recent addition to the group, but it feels very much like these other people have some kind of established history. And it's like everyone knows that the dynamic changed when you were introduced, but there's like a conspiracy to really not let you know just how much everyone else was upgraded off of your energy, and everyone's really trying to play into this character like they're all an empress like you, that they're all this balanced, loving, upright queen, king, whatever vibe, and truly they are not. You are the one who is blessed by a specific ancestor working with you, blessing you. And I think your guides are a bit irritated of these people benefiting purely by being in your space. And if anything, they are limiting your capacity to receive certain blessings. Like, I know a lot of times spirit will just not give you the blessing because it's going to benefit the wrong people who are in proximity to you, and probably ultimately come back to bite you in the ass. And they certainly don't want you having to deal with these other people's karma. Like, I just feel like especially there's two people in this group who are like mental manipulators. They know how to use their words and to make these sort of arguments that will really make you doubt yourself or get you questioning. But your golden key out of this situation is the fact that you have a blessing. Like, you have some sort of like ordained mark on your crown that you're just going to know. You're just going to know, like claircognizance, that something else is true, not what these people are saying. So I'm just gonna see if there's some extra cards to come out, some extra messages. What love messages do you have for pile 3? Messages of clarity and truth. What do they need to know right now at this time? You are the only group so far who did not get the Lover's card. Let us see. We have the Page of Wands. And we have the Eight of Cups, okay? And we have the Magician on the bottom. So I feel like, especially with the Eight of Cups, it is time for you to move on. There is a certain dynamic going on under the surface that you have not really been completely aware of, but possibly sensing. Or, you know, it's this unspoken vibration. Like when you walk in the room, you just feel like others are sort of mentally having this conversation or exchange of looks, and you don't really know how to put your finger on it exactly. But what I see from Spirit is saying it's time for you to strike out on your own and pursue this new journey, this new path that's really going to allow you to explore yourself, explore a more adventurous and spirit. Like I'm hearing The Alchemist. It's a book. I highly recommend it. It's a very poetic, romantic story. Yeah, I feel like there is some self-exploration. And you know what's so cool? Okay. So you picked the salamander photo, and this card clarifying right here. I wish it would focus a little bit better. These little black marks all over his yellow tunic are actually salamanders. Let's see if it'll let you see. But anyways, the salamander is very adaptive, born in the water, amphibious, especially the hellbender. It can only live in really pure, clean water. And I feel like these people are polluting your waters, and therefore you're not able to be fertile and grow and develop, you know, especially like I see you literally in a desert. So a salamander can't really do so well in a desert. It needs water. You need to go find an oasis, you know, because these cups are polluted. You know, he's walking away. It's like he took the one cup that was pure, which was yours, and left all these other ones, all these other people in this dynamic that just are not for your highest and greatest good. So Spirit wants you to manifest a fresh page, a new direction, and to be maybe a little bit self-focused at this time. But I'm seeing definitely like encouraging spontaneous action, adventurous action. Your curiosity is going to be rewarded. So these have been your messages. I hope that they were useful. If this resonated, please like, comment down below, especially if you have any questions or suggestions. I would absolutely love to hear them. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos. More videos in the future. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.